What is going on, everyone? Eagles football returns tonight as the Eagles get set to host the Titans at the Linc for week one of the preseason. Let's just talk a little bit about how I'm feeling now. I'm super pumped. I'm excited that I finally get to watch something other than this atrocious Phillies team, which they just lost a series against the Diamondbacks. I'm sure everybody's feeling the same. I don't think I even need to share how I'm feeling, but it's not looking good. I hate watching this team. I really do, and I'm so happy that we now have the Eagles to come in here and just act as another team to watch, even though it's the preseason. So, a hot topic has been: is Carson Wentz going to play? Is he going to play week one of the preseason? Is he going to play in the preseason at all? Now, I highly, highly doubt that he plays in week one tonight. And honestly, I don't think he'll play at all in the preseason. I think just with the injury history, the Eagles are going to be super cautious with him, and they're not even going to play him at all in the preseason. So that gives us a chance to look at these other guys: Nate Sudfeld, Clayton Thorson, Cody Kessler. We lost Nick Foles, so these guys are gonna have some pretty big shoes to fill. So we'll see. As for everyone else, Alshon Jeffrey, Zach Ertz, defensive players, Fletcher Cox, Malcolm Jenkins. These guys they'll get some snaps in week one and earlier on. But it's really gonna be about the other guys, and that's honestly what makes it more interesting for me. We know what Fletcher Cox is. We know what Alshon Jeffrey's going to bring. We know what Zach Ertz is going to bring. We know what our offensive line is going to bring. I'm really interested to see what's Miles Sanders going to bring. What's Sidney Jones going to bring. What's Dallas Goedert going to bring. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. These are the guys that I really want to see. These are the guys that are competing to play. So I really want to see these guys go out and prove themselves and fight for that roster spot. Now, those guys I just named off are some of my top players I'm excited to watch, but some other guys include Josh Sweat, Sharif Miller, just some guys that are realistically probably not going to get too many snaps this year, especially on that stacked D-line that we already have, but have the opportunity to prove himself and get a couple snaps. I think they're a little bit farther away than what we would like. I don't think that they're NFL ready just yet, but this is their chance to prove themselves. As for everybody else, this is everyone's chance to go out there and prove themselves. All these second team players, these third team players, these guys go out and compete, and they can honestly earn themselves a roster spot. I'm super excited for Miles Sanders. Apparently, he's been putting on an absolute show in training camp, so I want to see that in a game, okay? And I'm sure that's the way that this coaching staff is looking at it. Great, you're doing well in training camp. Okay, cool. Show us in a game. It doesn't matter if you don't do it in a game, right? J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Now, our receivers, we know what Alshon Jeffrey's going to bring. We know what Nelson Aguilar is going to bring. Deshaun Jackson. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, now he's going to be getting first-team reps at least in this week one. I expect that down the road, in later weeks of the preseason, right before the season starts, I expect that expect for these other guys, these first-team players, Alshon Jeffrey's, Deshaun Jackson's, I expect them to get a lot more snaps just to kind of knock the rust off and actually play real football games before the actual season starts. But for now, we're going to be seeing a lot of these second-team, third-team players get first-team snaps. So, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside might be our number one receiver most of the time. And I'm really excited for that. I love J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. I really do. I think that he was a great pick, underrated player. He wasn't up there with the DK Metcalfs and but I'm really excited to see what he brings. I think that he's a unique talent and that he will bring a lot to this football team, especially in the red zone. Maybe not his rookie year, but I think that, down the road as Alshon Jeffrey gets older, as Deshaun Jackson gets older, I think that he can really morph into that number one receiver, just like we see Alshon Jeffrey is right now. Another guy I look at, Sidney Jones. Apparently, he's been putting on a show at training camp too. Now, these first couple of seasons, he hasn't been good at all. Injuries have knocked him back. I'm not even saying injuries are the cause of it because he's just flat out stunk. Like, he's been terrible. So, to hear the news that he's been putting on a show during training camp is really good news. I look at it like the Ben Simmons jump shot videos. It's kind of like, okay, it doesn't matter until I see it in a game. But at the same time, it's like, would you rather not see him make a jump shot? Would you rather not hear that Sidney Jones is doing well in training camp? Would you rather not hear that Miles Sanders is doing well in training camp? I mean, like, I'm a huge game player. It doesn't matter what you do in practice, what you do at camp. You got to do it in a game because it doesn't matter if you do it in these, closed circuit situations. You got to do it in a game against another NFL team. And obviously this is preseason, but this is an NFL team, the Tennessee Titans, who say that they're going to compete this year, but I don't know about that. But they're not a bad team at all, even with their second team, third team players. So I'm really excited to see what these guys can bring. Some other guys include, our offensive line, some quiet guys. Andre Dillard, our first-round draft pick this year. Jordan Mailata, Big V. These guys are really expected to do something for us, and not really this year, but these next few years. So I'm excited to see how they do in this preseason week 1 game. So now let's talk a little bit about the flip side of it. So some guys that have been struggling in training camp. So number 1, Nate Sudfeld, who will probably get the nod tonight as that starting quarterback. I've seen a little bit of him in one of the regular season games from last year. I believe it was the last week 16. He looked good. It was only like a drive or two, but he looked really comfortable in there. So even though he's been struggling, I'm really excited to see what he can do in this preseason game. Obviously, he has some big shoes to fill with Nick Foles leaving, but I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table as realistically the backup quarterback this year. Another guy, Zach Brown. I'm worried about Zach Brown. I loved the acquisition when we got him, but he's been struggling in training camp. He's been getting reps with the second team, actually, before Kamu Grugier-Hill got injured. And he just has not been doing well. So that just could be a veteran guy coming in, going through the motions, kind of not giving it his all in training camp. Actually, on the Eagles' Instagram story, Snapchat story, they went around asking, what's your favorite part about training camp? And of course, everybody's getting to see the boys again. But get to Zach Brown, and he's like, I don't like anything about training camp. Nobody likes training camp. And to be completely honest, training camp does. It sucks. Nobody really likes training camp. But the answer, it's good to see the boys again. It's good to get back together. I mean, that's a good answer, and that's really the proper answer you give. So that just could be him just messing around or whatever. But I'm really worried about Zach Brown, and I'm really hoping to see something big out of him tonight and in this preseason and in this season as a whole. So really, that's about it, guys. I'm excited for this game. I'm excited to see what our guys can bring. Our young offensive linemen are Miles Sanders, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Dallas Goedert, and on the defensive side of the ball, Sidney Jones. I'm worried about Zach Brown. I'm hoping to see a lot out of Josh Sweat, Sharif Miller. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm super pumped for this game that we now have something else to watch other than this atrocious Phillies team. I'm super excited. Let me know what you guys think. See you next time.